Hey guys, I hope you're all well. In this video I want to discuss a tempo tip if you're in a muscle building phase. You may have read information online, or you may have heard that time under tension is the most important factor with regards to training within the muscle building phase, and it's just incorrect. The evidence is not there. The evidence is very clear now that volume is the biggest determining factor for influencing muscle growth. So volume is basically sets times reps times load. So in short, it's the total amount of work you're doing. So this really needs to be gradually increasing over time, and the simplest way to do that is to simply get stronger within the rep ranges you're using. If you're using a variety of rep ranges, some lower rep work, some more moderate rep work, and a small amount of high rep work, just by getting stronger within these rep ranges, volume will be going up by default. Additionally, if your goal is purely muscle growthism, it's worthwhile having the majority of your sets within approximately the 6 to 15 rep range. The reason why, because this rep range is slightly higher, it just makes it that much simpler to accumulate more volume. Now, with that being said, you still want to have some strength, some lower rep work within your routine to maximize strength gains, which in turn can help with you getting stronger within the more moderate rep ranges, and as such making it easier for volume to go up. Additionally, it's worthwhile having some high rep work within your routine, because this can help with lactate buffering. By having the majority of your work within that approximate 6 to 15 range, it's that much easier to accumulate more volume within that rep range, just because the reps are slightly higher. So that's the first thing to think about, is making sure you're actually prioritizing what's important. Because volume is the biggest determining factor within the muscle building phase, make sure you're focusing on that first. Having these rep ranges set up within your training program, focusing on getting stronger within the rep ranges, so therefore volume is going up gradually over time within the muscle building phase. If you couple that with sufficient protein and a calorie surplus, you will build muscle. Now, regards to the tempo tip, the reason why I wanted to mention that first in terms of what is the most important factor is that's what you need to realize when you're selecting a tempo to perform your sets with. So for example, if you're using any stupidly slow tempos that I'm seeing suggested all the time now, if you're taking 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds to lower the weight before exploding in the concentric portion of each repetition, unfortunately this will mean that the load you're using will be significantly lower than what you could use, and as such this impedes the most important factor within the muscle building phase, which is increasing volume over time. Because if you're using lighter weight, the load is within the volume equation, it will therefore mean volume will be less than it could be if you were just controlling the weight on the easiest portion each lift, and then exploding on the concentric, the hardest portion of each lift. So for example, if you're doing a squat, take no longer than 1 to 2 seconds to control the weight on the way down, and then about one second to explode up as quickly as possible. For the bench press, it will be 1 to 2 seconds to lower the weight, and about a second to explode up at the top of the bench press, as opposed to using a lot of these very slow tempos, which therefore means the load on the bar is significantly reduced, and therefore that impedes the most important factor within the muscle building phase, which is increasing volume over time. So making sure that this tempo is specific to the main goal of increasing volume over time. Don't start prioritizing the tempo over the most important factor, which is increasing volume over time. So hopefully that's been useful. Don't overthink tempo, just control the weight on the easiest portion of the lift. I'm not saying just allow gravity to allow the weight to drop, have some control there, but don't overthink this. Don't spend 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds to lower the weight just because the load on the bar will be significantly less than what you could use. So hopefully that's been useful. Control the weight on the easiest portion of the lift. It doesn't need to be any more than 1 to 2 seconds before exploding up, approximately a second for the harder portion of each repetition. And remember, the most important factor within the muscle building phase is increasing volume over time, which is having a variety of rep ranges, but at the same time trying to have more moderate rep work within your routine, just because it's that much easier to accumulate more volume with this repetition range. Hopefully that's been useful. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care.